Hello. My interview today is with someone that I work with, and I think, how long have we worked together? Like, how many years have you been here?
When did you show?
2011? 11? Yes.
Yeah, so three
That's
now?
funny because I don't even remember you that first year and the second year I was here. So this third year is really when I started to notice you as a person, because we just worked together in passing.
Well, we're
so
gone quite a bit too.
Yeah, you're gone. Like, I wasn't really sure about your name or anything like that. But we did work together on one assignment this year. I think it was just a couple months ago, maybe 1 or 2 months ago, and on that assignment, you were in charge, and you accidentally, you called me she just in a slip of a moment, which stood out to me because I was like, I don't even know that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. How did you? What were you thinking as that happened?
Well, when you started 3 years ago, we knew
Yeah.
you as Forrest before you started your transition.
Right.
Or I knew you as Forrest.
Right.
before
So you thought of
started
me
your
as
transition.
a female person.
And then, it hasn't really been brought up or discussed or anything.
Yeah.
So, it's obvious you're going through a transition.
Right.
But it's still, we're making the transition with you too. I am as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
So seeing changes that you're going through are also I'm happy to have a change of attitude or adjustment as well. Just kind of getting used to it.
Yeah, and that kind of helps me see what the organization here at work has done with the information, because I told my supervisors, and I was really interested in everybody understanding what's going on and knowing about this switch and so forth. And so are you saying that you just weren't like informed at all? So like to you, all you're doing is kind of watching without any information?
Not necessarily. I
Yeah.
think the instructions were that minimal personal information was given.
Yeah.
Just, Forrest is transitioning
To a man?
to a
Did you say
man.
to a man.
So now refer to Forrest as a he rather than a she.
All right. So it was just a
And,
one-time meeting, like a couple,
kinda
like
deal,
last year.
Yeah.
Last year, and so it didn't really stick in your mind in a way, or like wasn't real to you. You're like, because we're so detached anyway,
Exactly.
so it didn't really stick.
I think the thing is we don't really work with you on such a close day-to-day basis.
Right.
Really, we're gone, so it's not really in the forefront.
Yeah. Do you think that's interesting that it did stick to you just in meeting me in passing or whatever? It did stick. You're like, Forrest is a woman. That stuck. But then when it was like a one-time, Forrest is a man, it didn't stick.
Well, I think as you make the transition, it's
Yeah.
easier.
It's
Your
more
voice
real.
is deepening.
Yeah.
Hair is shorter.
Right.
Things are starting to click that Forrest is making the
Right.
transition. So it's easier now to view you as Forrest
The man.
The man.
Okay.
Versus Forrest the girl.
The girl, right. So the visual cues are really important in order to understand completely.
Yes.
Okay. So I'll tell you what it was like inside my experience of what happened, because it was just like a split-second thing where you called me she by accident, and then you corrected it, and there are people that we work with that only know me in this male form, and that's really important to me because that's my true form. This is the way that I felt my entire life. So even when I met you, I thought of myself as a man, but maybe no one could see that, it was invisible.
Exactly.
And so as you were talking, I was like, oh, I can't believe that came into your mind, because I thought I was so manly now. So what do you think? Like I'm not manly enough, so that's why you called me she?
Well, that's an interesting question. I think it is. It's obvious. Well, I wouldn't say obvious, but it's apparent. In some things that you're not. You know what I mean? Yeah. But it's also apparent that you do
a little different.
Yeah, just a little different.
A little soft.
I wouldn't say a little soft. It's just
a little girly.
No, I wouldn't say a little girly either. I don't really know how to put it.
Put your finger out.
I would almost say the opposite.
Okay,
because
I'm so manly.
I've noticed. Well, I've just noticed. Sometimes you are like, "Hey, how's it going?" And it's like, "Oh, why did you hit me so hard?" Like, that was not necessary.
That's funny. I think. Yeah.
So it kind of seems like maybe those cues. I don't know. It's just. I wouldn't say overcompensating or anything. Maybe that's just how you are. Just like, hey, how's it going?
Yeah, just bro time.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's I guess for me, it's an interesting perspective because I saw you before and after. People who didn't know you're going through the transition, I would think, maybe it's a little. Just I don't know. I wouldn't say that you've made the full transition yet. So it's not. It might be a little too early to be like, am I a man right now? Or not. It's just one of those things. Right.
So still in the process from your kind of perspective. Yes. Because, I could definitely go on about what I think it's like for other people and what I kind of experience from my perspective. You know, because the people that met me this year, they can't see anything other than a man. Like that's
cool.
You know, and that's what happens when you meet people. You get this initial impression, and I think it's really hard to change. And that's why, you know, I always wonder, even if you're informed about a change, like use he now. Like there's this resistance inside, like in your, I don't know what it is, unconscious, subconscious, because it is an easy thing to say one word different. Like there's so many examples in life where things get, you know, have a change of name or whatever, and it takes a moment to click.
Yeah.
But I'm just surprised, you know, that click doesn't happen in intelligent people.
Yeah, well, I mean, it does. Now you're throwing me under the bus.
That's right. No, just kidding. I mean, I just think it's a really fascinating thing, even with my own circle of friends and family.
It's just a change of mind frame, you know.
Yeah.
It's not like it's not held from previous prejudices or biases or anything.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like Forrest was a girl, now Forrest is a man,
right?
Or in the process of transitioning.
Yeah.
But you know, it's an interesting kind of you're right. It's an interesting change, and I wish it was instantaneous. I wish you could just turn your mind and be like, okay, you know. But
yeah, I'm also fascinated what it's like just from an acquaintance perception, because versus, you know, when my friends and family either have slip-ups or whatever, I think, well, they've known me for so long. Well, when, you know, you, whose name I didn't really even know.
Exactly, yeah.
And then you're like, actually, that's, like, you don't know that much about me, but the, like, very true things you held on to were my gender. Even though I never said, like, when I was looked like a woman, I didn't say, like, I'm a woman. Like, you just kind of, and then this is funny, because this is, like, inside my, well, maybe that's too personal. But you know, there's these insecurities that come with being transgender. So when people say she, it just is like, wah.
Yeah, there's a lot of social constructs, and it's difficult.
Yeah, you know, it's like, why are you talking about my vagina right now? This is weird. Like nobody else does that, you know. But you know, so it's weird.
Yeah, I would imagine it's much more difficult for you than it would be for any of us.
Yeah,
that's something that I think everyone pretty much understands.
Right.
Most people, or at least the people who are at least intelligent and open-minded enough, are pretty. I mean, they're okay with it.
Right.
It's not a big deal.
That's good to know, and that's you know, that's another thing I wonder about. Is like, because you're on the other side of things where you can hear people talk or process the information. But you know, you don't need to tell me about that stuff. But that's interesting. That's really interesting.
I'd say it's not. You know, it's not an issue.
No,
to tell you the truth, even though it may seem like little slip-ups like that. You know, kind of. Like, I can't quite imagine the psychological impact that would have on you, especially if you're trying to make the impression to people who you just started working with. And you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. That's
where I was. That's why I apologized to you the next day. I was like, hey, you know, I'm sorry.
That was really professional too. I did like that you came to me and
I mean, it just
made a little mention.
To be said.
Appreciate it.
But it's just it is definitely very. I'm interested in it. Like the whole process is cool, and I think, you know, it's something that's been going on for, well, since the dawn of man. Transgender issues.
It's just something, the way people are born.
So it's weird to see how like you'll continue to transition and fulfill new roles, and you know, if you're gonna succumb to gender stereotypes, things like that, you know, which is kind of, it's interesting.